Good morning. Welcome to part one, LUMNAH Acres Tiny House. This is going to be, this is at the shop setting. We need to do some materials management. Move it in here out of it's currently raining. They're saying possible snow in a little bit. I don't know if it will or not. But at least we're not sweating. The bugs are not here. So we're going to move this zip stuff in, 7/16. This is for the wall sheathing. Hey, want to give me a hand?
Sure. Ready?
Push it.
Not moving.
Okay, let me jack it up. I thought you guys were stronger than that. Yeah, we can go straight in. They'll spin it when we get in here. It's funny how it goes easier when you pick it up. What was that? So are we going to clear?
No.
There you go.
What's that hitting? We need to go another 5-6 feet.
Yeah, over here.
211.
It's going to hit those legs, so we got to move the saw, I think. Woo! Oh boy!
Whoa.
Oh, there's a power trowel here. So I guess we'd have to go over that way. So we have the wall sheathing in there. We want to get this 5/8 CDX. This is for the roof. Not all of this is for the LUMNAH job. It's for another garage that we're going to do. The 2x6s, they're going to be 10-foot walls. So we'll move those in, cut them. More 2x6s. Plate material, a little bit of pine. We'll get this in under cover. Also, I can edit this stuff, you know what I'm saying? Oh yeah. And so ice and water shield, the entire roof will be covered in that because they're going to put standing seam on. They're going top shelf. By the way, watch Alan and Gina's channel, LUMNAH Acres. I'll put a thing down at the bottom. I'm really not good at all these technical words. It's not a thing, it's a thing. What's that called?
A link?
Huh?
A thing to push?
What's when they can click on it?
Link?
A link. So I'll put a link, as Essential Worker pointed out. You can also watch their videos as this build goes for the tiny house from a different perspective. Should be fun. All right, and this is for the flooring upstairs, 3/4 inch dry guard, tongue and groove, so it'll fit together really well. All these 2x8s are going to be for rafters for a 10-foot extension off to the left side of the tiny house build that will hold all of their components for this off-grid solar, as well as it'll have a bathroom in there, just some handy space that they just needed a single floor for. Let's look at some other things. Here we have 24-foot 2x10s spruce that we're going to be using for rafters. We had them brought here because I wanted to cut them. We'll cut a template for rafters. We'll actually do that so you can see that part of the progress. We'll cut in the bird's mouth, cut the rafter tails, cut the notch at the top, the angle, the 45. It's going to be a 12-12 roof pitch. This will also, as you've seen in some other videos, we'll have a collar tie across when the rafters are up there, a collar tie I think we're putting it at 8 feet, the collar tie. And then there'll be a knee wall as well. But we wanted to cut them here rather than do it over there in the rain. Even though it's raining today, we'll be inside doing all of this work, so that'll be a nice shop day. So, on to the next thing. I just want to talk about cutting the rafters. So the first thing is to select a rafter that's really straight and good quality. Which I've already done. Okay, so on the end, we're doing a 12-12 pitch, so we need to make a 45-degree cut. Let's see if we can get the angle down here a little better. Okay, so we're ready to put an angle cut on this. You need to just verify the rafter that if there's a crown, we always want the crown up. This one is pretty straight, so we're good either way. Alright, so that's for the peak. Now we have to measure all the way down to the bottom to figure out what the run is. So in order to do that, we want a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So we know that the building is 28 feet wide, and so the rafter is going to come halfway in to the building on that at the peak. So it'll be half of 28 is 14. So we do 14 squared plus 14 squared for the height as well, because it's a 45-degree angle, and it will equal c squared, which comes out to 19.8 feet. So I calculated that out, and it comes out to so 19.8 feet is actually 19 feet 9 and about 5/8 of an inch. So we know the horizontal measurement, we know the vertical measurement, so we added those together. So the run, the total length, will be 19 feet 9 and 5/8 of an inch. The hardest part of construction is trusting your numbers, but I trust it because it's worked before, so it should work now. Let's go down to that end and look at that. Alright, so from the peak to here is 19 feet 9 and 5/8 of an inch. This represents the outside of the building, because that's a 45. This is the bottom of the rafter, so we know that we want to transfer that mark down to here. So we'll just kind of draw a line. So in theory, if that's a 45, this is a 45, we've done a squared plus b squared equals c squared. This would be the very outside at the bottom of the building. So now we know that. We also need an overhang. We generally go a foot overhang. There's a lot of things to figure into this. We also want a bird's mouth, that's what I call it, that will, so the rafter will sit on the floor. Typically I go 3 inches. So I'll measure up 3. That really doesn't look like enough. I think this is kind of an arbitrary number somewhat. You want to make sure it has good footing sitting on the floor. Let's actually go 5 inches. Let's actually go 6 inches. Okay. So there's 6. The nice thing with 12-12 is the angles are easy to work with. So we'll draw a line there. This represents our bird's mouth. So we can cut that notch out. The next thing we need to figure is 10.5 is, we're going to have a subfascia at 10.5 inches. So we know we want to overhang 10.5. When we add because we want a foot overhang, so we'll add a probably a 2x4 for subfascia will be out here. So we know at this point, so now we can mark a 45 there. What we want to discover is what that will look like with a subfascia. Be right back. Okay, so if this was the subfascia running all along the outside of the rafters, we can set that there. We know this will be the bottom. This will be the bottom of the subfascia, and that will be the face of the subfascia. So we know here we can cut straight across to determine the bottom where the soffit will attach. Drawing a lot of lines, but it'll make sense once we cut it out. It's a good idea to cross out or erase the lines you don't want to cut. Okay, so if we're right, which I'm pretty sure we are, this is the bird's mouth. This will be what the soffit is nailed to underneath. This is what the subfascia will be, a 2x4 subfascia will be nailed to. So we'll cut this out, see how it looks. Okay, so there's the bird's mouth. This is what where the subfascia will attach. The plywood, when we put it on the roof, will come right down over that nicely. It'll fit really well. Then the soffit will be along here. So we've made one. We need to do another one so we can lay it out on the floor, on the ground, and see how it looks. All right, we've set the template on top of another one. We've drawn our lines. Let's cut it out. And so we've got this laid out. Let's walk around and look at each. We'll look at the peak, check that angle, and I've set the tape down on the bottom over on this side, and we wanted 28 feet. Let's go see how it turned out. Sorry about the camera action. Okay, we've got a nice tight joint here. Let's go down here. Okay, you can see we have the tape right at the edge of the bird's mouth. Let's go down here, 28 feet. So the numbers did work. We have the template all cut out for the rafters. We'll be putting a collar tie across at 8 feet. Typically we do that on site just because it's a more consistent measurement. We'll snap, once the rafters are all up, we'll snap a line across and mount the collar ties to that line. There you have it. We have started. We've got the rafter template made. We're ready to cut the rest of them. We'll get onto it pretty good in a few more days. We have a little bit more work to finish up on another job, and then we'll be ready. So hope you enjoyed this quick video at the shop. Have a nice day. Hit the like button if you enjoyed it. If you really enjoyed it, watch it again. Make a comment, and if you're not a subscriber, I would appreciate it if you subscribed. So thanks a lot. We'll see you.